Hi, and welcome to JCMS.NET Video Help. Today we're going to cover payments, and in particular, payment reporting. In order to get to payment reporting, please make sure your taskbar is visible. In this case, it's not, so we'll go to View, Tasks. There we go, and then we'll click on Payments, and we'll go to Payment Reporting. Okay. There are a variety of reports that the payment reporting system will produce. However, the key here to note is that the selection that you have on the upper left-hand side produces or will generate a particular report. On the right-hand side, the various list will just produce all the payments for the given date range. So let's go ahead and put a date range in. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a date range in. I put a month in. Let's go ahead and view the transactions. What you see right now is a list of the view of the transactions for that date range. Before we dig into the grid that you see, the table of transactions, let's very quickly cover the reports. If I wanted to see all of my payments, I would click on my payments and then review the report. And what you'll see here is a transaction report strictly of my payments. My payments is very special. My payments is generally used for interim day reporting during the same day. For example, if I have a high transaction payment system where there's many payments coming in during the day, I may want to look at the accumulation of all my payments during the day. If I were to cash out my register once or twice a day, I would use this report to do it. My payments over a number of days doesn't really make sense. It can be done, but it's not very applicable. So with that being said, let's take a look at the next one, and that's cash receipts details. Let's go ahead and see what that report looks like. Okay, and we're looking for that particular month. And you'll notice that everything is broken down here. Okay, very similar to what this report produced before. The cash receipt detail are broken down by the individual payments, by payment type, then by the user, and eventually by the day, etc. and so on. Cash receipts detail. Let's go ahead and close that. Cash receipts by user. Let's go ahead and take a look at the report. Again, you'll notice now what's happening is there's a totality of payments, types, and then for the user. So you're getting summary and more additional, you're getting no longer the details, but rather summary information. Let's look at the totals, and naturally all we would expect to see is the days and the total amount that came in. As we expected, a summary on a daily basis. Just a brief note, you'll notice that the amounts are broken down into fine court cost assessments and then a summary and as well the amount paid. So the breakdown should equal the amount paid. So the summation of fine court cost assessments, which is total fine, should end up equaling amount. It's put in for auditing purposes. However, the system is 20 years in the making and very stable. Let's go ahead and look at the next report. Let's take a look at cash receipts by type. And again, what you'll notice is cash receipts by payment type. And you can scroll through the report and you'll get details. Let's go ahead and close that. Cash receipts by offender. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. And this will generate offender information. Okay? You won't be able to see this because it's blurred out intentionally to protect the security of these individuals. However, that is by cash receipts by offender. Let's go ahead and close this. There are two other reports, return payments, okay? And obviously, payments, basically you're looking at payments that have come back, like a bounce check for that matter. And then the quarterly report. Now the quarterly report is going to ignore the date range because it's grayed out, and naturally it will generate for the current fiscal year your quarterly. And in this case, we have very little to show. So what we'll do is we'll run this again for the prior fiscal year. And you'll notice that there are much better figures here. All right, let's give this a close. Now, with all that being said and done, we'll go back to cash receipts detail. We'll make sure that we have the transaction information. Now let's take a look at what we have in terms of the grid. The reports are naturally available for you to view and review and print out. However, what can we do here? What can we do with this grid? Well, to begin with, for the date range in question, you can definitely do aggregations and sum. And let's take a look at that very briefly. If I wanted to take a look at my case types, I could drag the field and bring it up here. Now for that uh, date period, minimum housing, you'll notice that it is summed up. There's $100 for parking tickets. $13,000 came in for that month. For police violation codes, 1,500. For traffic, 9,000. This immediately gives you quick totals, very quick totals as to what's going on. That's case type. We can bring that back. If we wanted to do the same, we could do that with users very quickly. User 1 and user 6 are the most active, and you can see the summations and the totals immediately visible. Let's go ahead and move that here. Um, Naturally, you can continue this kind of dissection as much as you want and layer it even further. So we could potentially look at case type, and then let's open one up and then look at users as well. Okay, so case type, now I can look at the users as well. Only user 6 collected. Parking user 1 and 6. So without having to print the information out, the user has the ability to look at certain aggregates immediately live on the screen. Okay, we'll go ahead and just replace these fields, and we're back to our complete detailed amount. And we'd like to thank you for using JCMS.NET Video Help.